Did you know that you can delete your current recording just by holding onto the recording button? Hey, that's a new feature in the new firmware update, and today I'm going to share with you my top tips of getting the most out of your Pocket 3. I know you and me, we are perfectionists. We want to get that perfect shot, and sometimes a little bit of jitter or an accidental shot, we want to reshoot the scene again. The quickest way to do this is no longer going to the albums and delete the videos. You can now just hold the record button and it will automatically delete that clip and you can continue shooting. Simple. The autofocus on the Pocket 3 has a bipolar personality. It likes to focus on whatever and anything it can, especially in continuous mode. The way to get around this is to use single focus. So click and lock onto your subject. That way you won't see any focus shifting and you'll get that perfect shot. Little bonus tip, make sure you use the app because there are extra functions in the app itself. For example, there are histograms, there are exposure warnings, so zebras. So whenever you see the lines appears, it means that particular area is overexposed or too bright and you're losing detail. Likewise, if you're underexposed, means the area is too dark, there are not enough detail in the shadows. Now, while in the app, did you know that you can lock your exposure or your brightness just by holding onto the screen to an area or a subject that you would like to stay focused on? This way, if you're like me right now, outside in an uncontrolled lighting environment, you are not going to get a lot of shift in exposure or brightness. Now, with the updated firmware, you do get extra gimbal settings. Instead of just a normal FPV, you do now get a FPV tilt lock mode. Basically locking the tilt motion, but still allowing for the rotation and the pan follow motion of an FPV. Now, what if you want to lock all gimbal rotations? Well, there is a lock mode, and that's by pressing and holding the joystick button. This way, your gimbal will stay locked in that one direction, regardless of where you move. Unfortunately, you have to hold on to the joystick. I wish DJI had a mode where you could just turn this on. Maybe in the next firmware update. Now let's talk about getting the most out of the images from your Pocket 3. First of all, setting your exposure. I always set it on automatic if I'm lazy. However, most of the time, I am on manual. Now you want the ISO to be as low as possible without sacrificing brightness. The lower, the less noise. And the shutter speed, you want to be double of what the frame rate you're shooting at. So if I'm shooting 25 frames per second, I want to be shooting at a shutter speed of 1/50. And if I'm shooting 60 frames per second, you guessed it, 1/120. Now in terms of picture profile, I personally like to shoot in D-Log. What that means is the sensor is able to capture the most details in the highlights while still maintaining details in the shadows. This does take a bit of time where in post you need to edit the colors, but luckily in the app itself, it's very easy to convert this to a normal Rec 709, the image you're seeing right now. Basically what our phones, our telephones, our screens are showing in a color that's more of a natural rendition. And next week, I'm going to give you some of my tips and tricks to color grade my Pocket 3 footage straight in app and even in DaVinci Resolve. But if you're too fussed about recording this in log, well, just shoot it in normal profile and export it straight away. Now when shooting, try to have minimum movement. Actually, static shots are more seen in cinematic and films. And if you want to move, make sure it's just one direction. So either from left to right or up to down. Don't move forward, back, and then change directions because it's very jittery and it's unnatural and looks unprofessional. And finally, if you like to shoot vertical shots, by turning the screen, you are getting 3K, so not 4K vertical shooting. You're losing a bit of resolution, which I think it's fine for social media. But if you do want the full 4K, you need to hold your gimbal sideways like this. This way, you're getting the full 4K vertical resolution. And that's it. Although this gimbal is almost perfect, there are a couple of things that I really dislike. And I'm going to go through that in the next video. So stay tuned for that, and I should be releasing it in the next couple of days. Until next time, more honest reviews here on this channel.